Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Janice.
Hi, Katie.
How are you?
I'm great.
All right.
Yeah.
Good morning. Here we are.
Hi,
It's
everyone.
Kate Richford and Janice Parsons live from beadshopdotcom here at our headquarters in Redwood City, California.
Yep.
So we've got a couple of things to celebrate today.
We do.
And we have a couple of things. It's not a sad thing. It's just a little bit of a change of the guard.
Not sad
right?
at all.
You
Yes.
are going to be, this is your last Facebook Live before your move.
Yes, it is. Saturday.
How are you doing?
I'm not prepared.
Well, you're pretty prepared. That's not true all the way. Well, she's prepared. Well, okay, so she's not. We're never prepared.
Do you know we're never prepared?
We just have to jump in.
How many years in business? 38 years?
Something like that.
Since
1982.
So I have a really quick story.
Mm-hmm.
One day I was prepared. This was years and years and years ago when the Super Bowl was at Stanford and Palo Alto.
I remember that.
And my mom, Lydia, and I got a jump on. Emily, is Gita on?
Okay, great.
Oh, happy birthday,
Happy
Gita! But
Gita.
I want to just finish telling this story. The only day we were prepared, we said we're going to be mobbed, because it was the Stanford Stadium.
Right, and our store was downtown Palo Alto, right?
Right next to the creamery where everyone would have breakfast.
Right.
We got in at 7 a.m. to be ready for the masses that were going to come and shop for beads.
During the Super Bowl.
Yes. And we opened up early, and we had the windows washed and the flowers watered, and we sat, and they all walked by
to Stanford.
No one came in.
So your first clue, we did a chart,
right,
football, beaters,
Nagadon.
No.
So that was the only day that I can ever remember, except for class sign-up days.
Class sign-up days.
When I was prepared.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's been, okay, let's get
Let's
ready.
do
What's
this
next?
today, right? Well,
Yeah,
we're really excited about you and your move. We're
you.
very, very excited. And you guys, we have a great strategy.
Yep.
What we're going to do is, Janice, as some of you have seen these past couple of weeks, Janice is on the other side of the computer doing some moderating. And we're also going to have her sometimes right here on Facebook Live via FaceTime.
Really creepy, but we're going to try
Yeah, we're going to do, you guys remember Max Headroom, right? From the 80s where his head was in the TV?
Yeah.
So it's going to be, we're going to have some of that
we'll
too.
do some of that.
And you're going to be
then I'm
officially back for a visit in July.
Yes, July 12th.
And so you'll be on that
And
Facebook
I'm hoping
Live
I do some kind of Monday things with Drea where we answer questions, especially customer service questions.
Yeah.
From Virginia.
We're planning to do that as
yeah.
soon as Janice gets settled, so you'll have some Facebook Live with her.
Right.
Well, let's move on to more of our celebration. Now,
Yeah.
as you guys have seen, it is our dear Gita from Denmark. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Gita. And, it's something that I think we've built these relationships not only with you, but with all of you who are watching. It's kind of like, it really feels to us, I know to all of us, like we're behind the counter at the store again, and it's really, really invigorated us. And I hope that you guys feel our sincerity and our joy during these sessions. So, Gita, we thank you for just jumping in early on, being an early adopter for our Facebook Lives, which is great. You saw a need when we were jumping in and, we weren't quite as prepared as we are now and linking things and being a great ambassador.
The best.
And it really means a lot to us. And, we're trying to make the world smaller and better and more peaceful and more happy, just one bead at a time. And so it's really cool to be able to be part of this worldwide beading community.
And Gita's helping us.
And you're helping us.
Yes.
You're a big part of that. So you guys come on out. We've got something for you. We're sorry we can't send this over to you.
Yes.
But it was also our Ivan's birthday. Ivan, who you talk to a lot in our shipping and customer service department. So we want to give you, the whole team is here to wish you a happy birthday! Happy birthday, Gina! And Ivan has, so Janice went, what do we have?
It's sort of
Janice.
like a Danish. It's a coffee cake.
Right.
And it's an apple one. So
Yes.
I think they're apple Danish or strudels in Denmark.
So we hope so.
I hope
Anyway,
so.
We've never been there.
Yeah, I
But
wanted
anyway,
something Danish.
so Ivan's gonna blow out
Yeah.
your candles.
Yeah, for both of us.
That's
Happy
right.
birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday!
birthday.
Yay, there it is. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now
And
back
we
to
could-
work.
Gita, we could send a piece in your next order, but it sounds like you're
Yeah.
having people bring your orders over for you, so it might go stale.
Might go stale.
Yeah.
And you guys cut up this coffee cake
Yeah.
and eat
Yeah.
and have a good time.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope that
Okay.
was okay. So happiest of days to you. That was fun.
Yeah.
I want some coffee cake
I
now.
know. Well,
So-
we'll get you some.
Okay. Well, I have a couple of things now to share with you.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, Ivan, for doing the honors for that.
No problem.
And I'm-
Ivan, lots of happy birthdays coming your way as well.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes.
And you know what's so funny is I've already lost my list.
Well, I think I can wing it. Let's see what I've
here's
got.
my
Is that your
list.
list?
I have my
Okay,
list.
Good. All right. So we've got a few emails this week that I wanted to share
Okay.
with you guys. So we had one that I wanted to start with. It was kind of dovetailing on what we did last week. And you guys, I wanted to mention, I forgot, before we get to that, our dear Grace, who is usually here womaning the camera, is actually out sick today. And I'm so remiss in not saying that right off the bat. Emily's going to be behind the camera today. But Grace texted me this morning and said she's really sorry she missed your special birthday broadcast.
And
So
can we just show
Yeah.
the beautiful necklace?
Mhm.
Everyone, I hope is asking, because this is just my latest, newest gift. Grace made this as a
As a
goodbye.
going away, yeah.
going away. Isn't it lovely? And then you made me these gorgeous earrings.
I did. So some of you may have seen on my social media,
la, la.
I was posting some big earrings because this
Yes.
is all about big earrings. And this bottom and this earring top were one. But I split them up,
Yeah.
gave the tops to Janice, and put those cool carnelian
Yes.
vintage finds on the
Yes.
bottom because those are your favorites. And I put some vintage finds on mine so
Top.
I could wear them today on the top. So we'll see. I like a big earring. It's all about a big earring today.
And I think
I
it's
like it.
interesting the way you gravitate to blue
Yeah.
because of your eye color,
Right.
no matter what.
It's my neutral.
Yeah, it's such a neutral.
It's true.
And orange and brown are mine.
Yeah. There we are. There you are now.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful necklace.
And beautiful earrings.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Wow. We've got to send
I
you with
just
some
love
jewelry.
the love. Love the love.
So the question that we had from earlier, which stems from last week with Emily's wonderful bead crochet. Emily, you got a lot of great feedback on that. I think everyone loved it. But we had a question from Karen. And Karen asked, is there a way to finish the closure a bit neater and sturdier than just crocheting the end, a loop and button? Which, is a great look. It kind of looks a little casual, but if she wanted to put for her customers, if she maybe wanted to macrame the ends like the Odyssey necklace, which you totally could. You could do kind of a macrame loop with those ends. But we also grabbed a couple of things here, Karen, to show you. We have these little fold over crimps. I don't know, Em, if you can get in there and see those pretty closely. But it's this little fold over crimp that we have. And you could lay your chain piece or your ends of your thread right in here and fold that over. And then that gives you a loop here to add any type of clasp you want. So if you wanted a fancier clasp like a lobster claw or even a toggle or something like that, you could use this little fold over to
Would
do
you
that.
use glue with it?
I might.
think I would.
I might put a drop of maybe
Yeah.
hypo tube right in there, the hypo cement, or even the zap would work.
Yeah.
And then you could also do it a little more traditionally with over here, and I've got the end tips. We could do this like we do end tips for our pearl
Yes,
necklaces and
yes.
knotting and that kind of stuff. So you'd start with you'd start your piece here, you'd knot everything inside here, and then continue and chain that way. Or you could also add these at the end, right, Em? You could just
Absolutely. The micro Ceylon is plenty stiff enough to just poke it right through the hole of the bead end there. And you could tie a knot around a small seed bead inside if you felt like you were having a hard time making a big enough knot there to keep it inside. And that's a nice secure way of kind of going. And absolutely a little hypo cement is your best friend to kind of secure a knot
it in there.
so that you can trim it off close.
And then this loop we could just attach again to your clasp of choice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So-
and I would probably say lobster claws or something a little, or spring ring style clasps, just a little more positive connection than a
Then a
than a
toggle.
toggle.
Right, because it's not a very weighty necklace, right?
Or even a hook and eye.
Right, would work.
Right.
So let me ask you, could you also start with a little small button?
Sure. A button without a shank, a whole button.
A whole button, for
Sure.
instance. And then you would maybe even do
Silk
a
wrap
silk
under
wrap
it.
there.
Or in macrame.
Yeah,
sure.
do your
Crochet.
do hickster. And then I think I would end with a beaded
You could make a
beaded loop that
Mhm.
goes around the button.
You could make the loop. You could just have the last thing, the first thing you put on be a little group of seed beads underneath the button, and around the top of the button even, right?
Oh, so you'd have, here's your button.
You could have beads
And then
go
you
through.
could go bead, 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 bead like this.
Yep.
Then start
Right.
everything. You don't even have to silk wrap.
No.
You could just do that, and then on the other end, bead, 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 and then
Correct.
put a bead on and maybe knot below it or
Sure.
something. That's I really like the button, the little button, and we got in those new little buttons.
Yeah.
And I could put the link in episode, notes. Yeah.
So these are all really inventive ways. So if you guys do come up with some inventive ways to close your crochet, we would love to hear it. But Karen, I hope that helps. Then we've got a couple more, Janice, that I wanted to share with you.
Okay.
Bear with me here just a second while I pull those up. I just wanted to get there, go back, and it's loading. It's
Okay.
loading.
Are
It's
you on the
loading.
Fast Network?
I am. It's loading.
Meanwhile, we did get lots of nice hellos, a few reassuring nods to Janice about flying by the seat of your pants a little bit on a big adventure.
Thanks, everyone.
Kate, John, and
I
Gwen
do-
are both on board
Oh,
here.
hello to my family.
One of my challenges is going to be making friends. Making
Oh,
friends.
Janice.
No, I'm new.
I know.
I'm
know.
moving to a
Yeah.
new area, so if there are people in the Virginia
there's
area,
friends.
or anyone who wants to friend me, and maybe I mentioned
the
it on
ropes,
Facebook.
the East
Maybe
Coast.
go to the Renwick or an afternoon of painting or beading or something.
Reach out. That'll be great.
Yeah, and I'm moving into a nice complex that has nice, big, like, common rooms.
We'll
And
be-
we could-
I'm
we could-
coming.
Janice at beadshopdotcom. Tell me who's in the Virginia, D.C. area that would like a friend, maybe? Would want a friend?
Janice. Oh, you're going to be just
But
fine.
I'd love to, meet some
Yeah.
East Coast
Yeah.
beaters. I
And
know
we've
it's
got
a big area.
we've
for
got an
beading.
East Coast meetup. We're talking
Yes,
about
yes, it's
our,
not
our
on
Bead
our list.
Fest,
Bead
Fest
Fest,
Philly.
yes.
And there'll be more details about that. But I'm teaching in Bead Fest.
And
at
Drea
Bead
says
Fest in
this is a
August.
huge lie. Janice made friends while we were checking out the Y. It took her 5 minutes and she had a bunch of buddies.
Yeah, that's true.
I
know,
just-
but it's nice to have friends.
Yeah,
It
I want to
is.
have new.
You
I
want
want to
you need
have
some
more
bead friends.
Yes,
That's right.
There, it looks like there's a few your way.
good.
awesome,
So
good.
that's cool.
When are the dates for Bead
Well,
Fest?
Bead
So,
Fest, you know what? I'll pull that up real
Is
quick.
it August 3rd
Bead
or?
Fest.
August
It's
5th?
Bead Fest Philly. It is August 16th through 20th.
Okay.
And I'll be teaching some jewelry classes there, some metalsmithing classes. But Janice will be coming in, and we'll be getting together a meetup there for
Yeah,
our East
a
Coast.
wine and cheese.
Yeah, our East Coast beadshopdotcom
And iced tea.
buddies.
And iced tea.
Gita would like you to move a little further east.
Yeah,
I'm
further east to Denmark. But let me show you guys. We had an email from Diane, and Diane, I'm just going to read it because I think it's pretty cool. And she says, "Hello, everyone at beadshop.com. I got hooked years ago when I stumbled upon your website, watching videos and learning how to make bracelets. I love beading in my spare time, but have now started to share my talent with others, which we think is awesome.
Yeah. Great.
Working at a local community college in the community education department is a perfect setting to teach others, and I was encouraged to teach bracelet classes when others saw the bracelets I made. So she shared some of her few pictures of her first class that she taught on lettering. She's taught several others with more in the future. She loves watching us on Facebook Live. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you for all of your inspiration and creativity you share. So Diane sent us some photos, and Emily, I'll get them all together here, and I'll turn the camera so you can see. So here's one of Diane's. She sent one of her classes, and you can see everyone's busily beading away.
They've got their design
Their design trays and everything, which is awesome. And then here's more of the beaders. Look at that. And I love how she's used our directions. And she's used our directions with all of our branding on them.
Yeah.
And I'll let you speak to that a little bit, because I'm sure people have questions about that.
Yeah.
And look there's everybody wearing their ladder bracelets
It's
at the end of
fabulous.
class. Isn't it great?
It's fabulous.
I
Yes.
think it's fantastic.
I do.
So if you guys are teaching and do want to teach, we encourage that completely. And if you do want to use our learning, you can, while I'm pulling up the next thing, Janice, you can talk about that.
So all of our learning has our logo on it. It identifies that our products are from beadshopdotcom, that whoever designed it, who wrote it, we give credit to the artist. And if you would like to print out our handouts and use them to teach, it's absolutely fine. We ask that you do not resell them. That we're giving it away. We want you to give it away. You can make money on the class, on your teaching, but we don't want. We really discourage selling of our
like our handouts and
our
like
handouts.
kits and stuff like that.
The only caveat is that you need to keep our logo and where it comes
Use everything
from
as is.
and copyright. Use it as is, and you're welcome to print it out and share it with your friends. Teach it as a class, as long as they know that it comes from beadshop.com.
Yep,
So
because it's a great resource that we like to share out there. So we like to give credit where credit is due, and we hope that you do too.
yeah. So go make money teaching.
Yeah.
But just don't sell our learning.
Our instructions.
Yeah.
So we have two more that I want to share. They're both from Tammy Del Nero. And Tammy and her husband Art watch us on Facebook Live. And Tammy is really into bead crochet, and I wanted to give you a little sneak peek on what we're going to be doing later on with some wire work. And so what she wrote was, "Hi Kate, I posted these pictures on the wall at Bead Shop, but wanted to send them to you to be sure you'd see them since we talked about crochet in your Facebook Live on Wednesday." She gave kudos to you, Emily, big props to you, and she says crochet is near and dear to her heart. And the this was crocheting with wire.
Wow.
And so here's a wire piece. Let me make that a little bit bigger. But look at how beautiful that is, crocheting with wire there.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't it great? And Tammy, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one that you made for your grandma, which was kind of a memorial piece to
Just
her, which was
beautiful.
great. And then I want to show you one last one, also from Tammy. That here's a necklace. Oh, and this wasn't actually crocheted, I'm sorry, but it was just a really cool, she was inspired by, whoops, let me get this back to the thing. She was inspired by some of our color paletting. So she dove into her own beads and worked up some
Yeah,
color
it's
palettes.
beautiful.
And she took her color palette right from this glass leaf, which I think is a great way to, you know, start with.
Is it on Softflex?
I bet
Is
it
it on
is. I bet it
Screen
is
Line?
on
Yeah,
Softflex.
probably.
Mm-hmm.
But look at that. It's
Whoops,
done
let
with
me make it a little
conviction.
bit-
It's a lot
Sorry.
of, you know, different colors, warms and cools.
There we go.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like I'm walking along the ocean and I'm picking up shells and kelp and
Yeah, it's
you
beautiful.
know, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's very Renaissance Italian. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just beautiful.
It's beautiful. So thanks, Tammy, for sharing those. We really appreciate
And
it.
could I just, at this
Mhm.
point, because I'm in the middle of a move, I apologize if you've emailed me with pictures of your work and we are not showing it today. Please email it to Kate at Bead Shop. I am hardly even getting to my email right now. I'm so like in the middle of the move. So I apologize if you sent me things. I loved them. I wrote back, but I might have forgotten to give them to
we will,
Kate.
when you find them, you
Okay.
send them along. Don't
Okay.
even worry.
Okay.
All right. So we, what else do we have on our list? Anything
Bead
else?
retreat.
Bead retreat. You guys, the bead retreat's almost full. It's
Yep.
super exciting. I sent out, those of you who have signed up, I've sent out some info to you, but we still have a few spots left, so you can jump on the website and take a look at that. We're gonna have a lot of good stuff.
I want to remind people that the handout is up for Emily's project. Not
from
only
last week.
episode notes, but the handout is up.
I don't
so,
know how you do it.
Well,
You're a
it's
machine.
done. Well,
It's crazy.
so if you go to projects and you go to bits and pieces and you open one of the samples, you'll see the link that says handout, and that's the step-by-step
It's great.
how to do last week's project.
We also we've got more crochet hooks coming in, you guys.
Yep.
We know that you're eagerly waiting. So a way to be notified when projects or product is out of stock, you're on the product page and it says out of stock, but right underneath it, it says email me when it's back in stock. If you add your email right into there, an email is automatically generated as soon as it goes back in. So when you see that email from us, jump on it, because that
Yeah.
means they're back in and people are buying them.
Right, right.
Okay.
And then we've got more of the roller beads back in, which is great. And I think that's it.
That's it for now.
Yeah.
All right. So, questions, Emily?
A little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sounds like, Janice, you're going to have lots of fun on the East Coast, because there's people chiming in, and you're going to meet some folks in PA.
Yay! I'm so excited.
The the pieces you were just looking at, the crochet from
Oh, Tammy.
Tammy, she said she sent you another picture, so there's some other
Okay. I'll look
things
for 'em,
coming
Tammy.
along. And Kathy is about to open a bead store in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
It's called Serenity Bead Shop and Studio.
Oh, exciting.
And
Fantastic.
so she's feeling a little nervous but excited about all that stuff. And I just thought it was a really great way of talking with folks about using your handouts and the branding and kind of keeping
Right.
that kind of
Right.
going. And I wanted to interject only that if you ever have a question about whether you're stepping on someone's toes or you're taking too many liberties or can I do this, to ask. And I think that's a great, to keep the line of communication kind of open between someone that you've admired and interested in their work, to just email and or
Yeah.
call and pick
Right,
up the
and reach
phone,
out.
reach
Yeah.
out and see what they have to say, because that way you're getting your ducks in a row before you plunge ahead.
Right, right.
So
Well,
sounds good.
exciting about a new bead store
Yeah.
called Serenity. Beads are really therapy.
That's right. Our therapy.
So keep us, Kathy, keep us posted. Let us know when the opening is. We'll announce it on Facebook. We're happy to help promote it.
That's
And
right.
The
We're
more
only-
stores, the better.
That's right. We
Yeah.
only make more beaters
Yeah.
for all of us, so
Yeah.
that's great.
Congratulations.
So today's a project that's near and dear to my heart.
It is.
You
it
know
is.
that I love earrings.
I know, earrings and wire
And today
and chain.
are earrings, wire, and chain.
And
I'm-
tassels.
And tassels. And I'm super excited to share this with you. So you guys, when you follow me on my social media, you know I've been having an earring moment lately.
I'm just
so-
going to go back in
yeah.
close on Janice's
Okay.
earrings, and then I'll go to
Just
yours.
real quick.
Keep on
All right.
talking, Kate.
All right. And so the earrings that I'm making today using the memory wire.
Aren't those pretty? Don't show any of my moles or
Oh,
anything.
Janice,
I'm
your,
moving away.
your
It's
skin is perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Please.
I'll put mine on the cup right here.
Okay.
So these, what I've done today is kind of inspired by all of these kind of big earrings that I've been working on. And I think it's kind of a fun way to talk about utilizing something specifically memory wire that isn't really used for earrings, it's used for everything else, and kind of repurposing this product and jumping in and creating a new design with it. So Emily, you're going to come around here and film next to me. Janice, you're going to jump on the computer and let's get this party started.
I do. I just want to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
before we do that, that what I love about the way you design is that you build from intuition. You start with a concept and then you build a story. And I'd like you to, as you're doing this today, talk about how you
Came up
don't
with
know
this.
where
Right,
you're
right.
going. You're not. you kind of know where you're going, but you don't know what the finish is going
Right.
to be, and that's how you build. Because
Yeah.
you can look at these, and everyone might say, "Oh, well, you thought this all through," and maybe you did, or
Yeah.
you just. But I love the way you
Oh, thank you.
created a finished story. Go, okay, I'm going to add that. Then
Yeah.
I'm going to add
I'll
that.
talk
So
a little bit about that. That's a
Okay.
good. That's a good place to start, actually.
Okay.
So
you
we're
want a
gonna
bite
move
of
around.
coffee cake
I'll
before
have
you
this.
get going?
No, I'll be okay for the moment.
Okay, and
I'm
I
going to turn you
will-
guys around. Emily's going to come around. I'll show you where we are here. This is my little work surface. Definitely, Mimi, it's definitely off the cuff. That is for sure. So I'll talk to you a little bit. Let me pull these designs forward, Em, so you can see them. And it's really true. You know, when I work on a piece like this, or pieces that I have, I don't know, strung pieces that I've been stringing, that kind of thing. And Janice, holler out if you have any questions, okay, or whatever.
Okay, I have to
Okay.
just get online.
That's
I
all
can't
right.
believe I didn't open the page.
That's okay. So everyone's fine. We're all good. When I tackle a design like this, the first thing that I do is I start with, a lot of times, I start with a color story. So I went to the memory wire and I thought, let's do some fun stuff with the memory wire, right? And I thought I would do earrings, or I'd do a ring or whatever. So I opened the bag of memory wire and I pulled out all of the memory wire, okay, which I've got right here. And I've got this necklace wire, which is a 3.6 inch. We've got bracelets in 3 sizes, 2.5, 2.5, and 2. And then I've got this ring wire, which is 1/4 of an inch, or 3/4 of an inch wide, okay? And then I started to play around with it and say, all right, what can I do? And I think, well, this bracelet, it's a little big, right? This one, if I'm doing an earring, maybe it's a little big. I could use this as a pendant, so I'll put that aside for a second. And I came in and I said, well, this would be a good size, this medium size for a bracelet. I'll use this. It can go big as a pendant if these earrings are too big, or I could also use this smaller size, which is actually what I'm going to use today to show you how I can go a little bit smaller. So that's the smallest one. And I thought, well, gosh darn it, look at this ring wire. That'll make a good smaller earring. So I started there. Then I hollered out and I said, you know, you guys, what do you guys think about tassels? And everybody said, we're filling orders, don't bother me. And so I said to myself, well, I like tassels. And then Cara came over and I said, Cara, what do you think about these tassels and these kind of bead caps and stuff? And I love tassels. I think they say summer to me. And so I just pulled one of these off and I thought, how will it look in our capped off cap? And I looked at it and I thought, oh, you know what? This is kind of too small, this tassel. And Cara looked at me and said, use 2 tassels, Kate. And I said, Cara, you're a genius. So I said, all right, I'm going to put 2 tassels in there. So that's where I actually started with this piece, because for me, the earring was kind of about the tassel, right? So I jumped in there. So I'm going to jump in there now. And I'm going to show you how to make this tassel. I grabbed some 24 gauge, so to make the tassel of this earring, which is right here, and it's the same thing. Both of these tassels are exactly the same, okay? This is the capped off cap, and it's the capped off 6, I think. It's a smaller one, Janice.
6.
Capped off 6. And what I did was, I got some wire. This is 24 gauge. I used my finger, because it's always near me to measure, and I measured 2 finger lengths, which is, I don't know how much that is, maybe like 6 inches. And I got my trusty wire cutter and cut it away. Now, to get these little buggers off of the tassel thread, that cord that they're on, and onto the wire, I just took a deep breath and I did, like Julia Child says, use the courage of your convictions. See how I kind of put the wire in that cord, and then I just slid that sucker on, sliding it on, like that. Then I slid on a second one. Again, courage of my convictions, slide it on. So I've got the 2 tassels right there, okay? Then your friend and mine, you know what that is. I get that hypo cement, and I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna put a drop of glue right where they're tied. If you guys have used these before, you know that they're a little delicate, but putting that little bit of glue, you guys, makes it all worthwhile, makes it all come together. Now I'm going to use Emily's trick that she talked about last week, which was, you know, we always have trouble getting this lid back on this glue. So I'm going to come in. Emily's little trick was, you can see that the tip of that hypo cement kind of is diagonal. It has a little point there. I put the pin on that point. Once it's on the point, I can then line that up and push it in. And that's something I did automatically, but you actually verbalized it, and I think that's great. So it's a great tip for that. Okay. So now let's come back to our friends, the tassels, and let's just get these out. So I'm going to have you get up, just to pan out just a little bit so I have a little more room here for my little hands. And I'm just going to bring this together, this 24 gauge. Can you see I've got about 1/3 of the wire here and maybe about 2/3 over there. And I'm just going to get my trusty, and the wire, you know, the tassels, they're kind of dry. I might wait a little bit longer. But I'll come in, I'm going to squeeze that wire tight, and the tips, I'll straighten this out so you guys can see it. See how the tassels are looking a little wonky? That's okay. Don't even worry, because when I get my bead cap and I put my bead cap on, look what happens. Those tassels tame on down, tame on down. I'm the boss of you guys. There we go. I'm going to hold it with my pliers. There we go. And they pull right into the cap. Let me get that little tied up part right in there. Can you guys see that? So there are 2 tassels underneath that bead cap. Okay.
I have to say I have a really new appreciation for Grace. And Grace, I hope you're watching. I feel like my hands are shaking.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Gracie makes filming look so easy, doesn't she?
Maybe that's a little bit better.
There we go.
Yeah, still feels like there's my heartbeat is making it go.
Mm-mm.
So.
You're doing okay, Em. It looks good. Yeah.
Fine.
We got
How about
this.
putting this in front of you like this?
There we go. A little bit of adjustment.
Both of your arms.
There we go.
There you go.
A little bit of camera adjustment there,
Sorry.
you guys.
All right.
There we are. Better?
Better.
All right.
Oh,
Bam.
it's a little bit restful. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. Okay. So we've got this going on here. Oh, and you're getting encouraging words from everybody.
See that?
There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now you guys, I'm just going to wire wrap this closed, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to see what I did. So see on this one, how I don't have a bead there, and on this one, I do. So let me show you with a bead. I just get one short end here. I'll bring this around and I'll wrap.
This is just a wire wrap loop, right?
Kind of. So what I'm doing is, and I'll show it here, see how I've done those 3 little wraps? That secures this short wire, and I'm going to come in with my wire cutter that went across the table here, clip that away, and then with the tip of my plier, I'm going to get that in there. Okay? Now I'm just going to do a wire wrap loop. And what I used was this 4mm. For this tassel, you can see I used the 4mm. That's the that 4mm turquoise bead there for the.
Emily, could you come back a tiny little bit?
Of course.
Not as, just a little further.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's
How's that?
just a little too close.
We're a little tight. Is that better? Then I'm going to just wire wrap here.
That's better. Just, yes. Yeah, now I feel like I can see some of the tools and a little more of your hands.
And I'm just going to wire wrap this close. So you guys, we've got a lot of learning on this wire wrap, so I'm not going to detail it here in the interest of time, but we'll put that in the episode notes.
Right.
You can also find it in on our projects page. If you go to our skill builders, you'll see some skill builders all about wire wrapping and stuff like that. There's a lot of good basic information. So let me put that down there. So that's what we've got there. That guy. Okay. I'll get that focus so you guys can see that. So now that's ready to go. So you guys, you could simply just, if this worked for you, you could say, you know what? I'm slapping an ear wire on that sucker and I'm wearing it out to dinner tonight, right? That's what I would do. But since we're making some boho earrings, let's take this a little bit further. You can see this one that doesn't have the bead. That guy, all I did was I wrapped my first wire like this, then I did my loop, and then I wrapped the wire back down over the first wrap. So I can actually, where's my piece of wire? Here it is. I'm trying to keep my bead table neat, you guys. It's
You're doing
rough.
a great job. So the tassel, when you say a boho,
I'm going to do this real quick.
when you say a boho, it kind of adds like a shaggy, sort of the fringe of an old vest.
Right, or a free spirit feeling around it. You know, summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I sort of
JP.
like the idea of the soft and the hard together. You know?
Yeah.
Right, the metal bead cap with the
With the
fabric tassel.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to put this. I'm going to put the bead cap on there. Of course, I did it so well when you guys were watching. There we go. Is it in there? Janice, I'm going to hand this to you.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to put the bead cap on, so we've got this second one. Okay, and we're gonna push that in. So I'm ready to go. Go in there. And you guys, you tell that tassel, or whatever you're doing, you know, it's my mantra always, I'm the boss of this jewelry making stuff, right? So you just tell it to bend it to your will. So there we go. And I'll fix these out a little bit later, but this one's ready to go, and I'll set this aside for a second. Okay, so next, once I had conquered the tassels, you guys, once I had figured out, well, I think I know what I'm doing, I think I like the look of this tassel, and Cara was awesome for coming up with the double tassel idea, I thought, well, what do I want the earring to look like, right? So I thought, well, I'm going to go to, I wanted to have a look of metal, and I immediately went to my favorite bead on the whole website, which were the little shadows. And I thought, well, an entire earring maybe on this big hoop out of the little shadows might be a little much, maybe. So I thought maybe the next best thing are our size 11 seed beads. So I went there and I thought, I'm going to make this those seed bead earrings kind of the focus of my design, okay? And they'll add a really good backdrop to the beads I'm using. Can you see how I just kind of messily wire wrap that, you guys?
Can you show us the finished earring next to
Yeah.
it so we can see where you used
Yeah.
them? Where are you going with this?
So you can see here, I'll put this here so you can see it. You can see I've used the 11/0 right here. That's these guys. I've used the little shadows right here.
What do you say, these guys?
These guys.
Which guys?
These guys.
Okay.
These guys.
Good guys. Okay.
Those guys.
Okay.
And see those 2mm? I've got this 2mm. I thought to set it off, I'd use the 2mm check True Twos.
Okay.
And so for this one, I used them in the olive. So essentially what I did was I cut a piece of memory wire and I started to design. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to use this same size so I don't throw myself off, okay? But this would also make a great size if you wanted to scale it down. But let me not go off topic too much. You know me, I like to make it up as I go along, and sometimes that gets me into trouble.
It's really nice. It seems like there's some fur assistants helping everyone's laps stay warm.
Oh, are people watching with their pets?
Their kitties are. There's a lot of
like
kitties
it. A lot of
sleeping
kitties
on laps.
today. I
Yeah.
like it. So, you guys, I want to caution and remind you the wire cutter that we use for cutting memory wire. It's our Xuron memory wire cutter. We do not, I repeat 1,000,000 times, we do not use our good flush cutters to cut this memory wire, because what we'll do is we'll cut that wire and there'll be a nice little round circle right in the heads of your tool, okay? So keep this for soft wire, soft flex, things like that. This memory wire needs either a wire cutter that you don't care about at all to get marked, or you invest, I think it's a great tool, invest in a memory wire cutter. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my wire, and you can see I've clipped, leaving a little bit of an overlap. Can you see that? So not quite to half, but this gives me something to hang on to as I'm stringing. Okay, so then I just started designing. So let's take the design right off of this piece here. I'll start by using my tassel, and I just strung that on. And I thought, well, tassel, in order not to travel over these size 11 seed beads, you're going to need a little stopper bead. So I strung from both sides, and I said, hey, little shadow, you're going to be my stopper bead. Okay? And I put those guys on. Then I thought about the dangles on this piece. And I wanted enough room so that the dangles would show off nicely, but not too much room so it would look too bare between the tassel and the first bead. So I spent a lot of time figuring out these 3 beads. I put on 5 and then the bead, I put on 2 and then the bead, and then, just like Goldilocks, I went to 3 and I said, that's just right. So, and I built this, you guys, really from both sides. Because I don't know if any of you knit socks. I've knitted a few socks in my life. I've knitted a lot of first socks in my life. I languish from that second sock syndrome. When I have to make the second one, the first one just kind of lies around there. So I do that, I kind of build this piece from both sides to keep it interesting, and so it also makes it a little bit faster, so I will complete that second one. So you can see here I've got my little 11/0 seed beads. Now I wanted something that set off the little dangles, added a little bit of spark and shine, and also acted as kind of a bead stopper as well. Okay, so I went to the True Twos, which I think I'm mad about the True Twos. I love them so much. And I'm using, it's hard to see because they're small, but I'm using these olivine AB ones. I just love them so much. And when I made the loops on these little guys, I made the loops small enough, and I'll show you, I just used a regular head pin. I cut and I just loop that guy over. And what you can do to give yourself a little template you can make a little mark so that all future ones that you make, you can leave, you can line your wire up and cut it there. You can see I have all of my little bits of wire left over, and they're all pretty much the same length, but I've been wire wrapping for a long time. So having that little bit of a helper right there will help you make the mark every time.
So I want to just say, Gita is, her fingers are sticky because she's eating birthday cake.
I love it.
And so she doesn't mind my help in linking.
Oh, fantastic.
Not as good as hers, or
Well,
even Dria's, but
it's a team effort.
yeah.
It's a team.
Oh, and Randy Samuels has joined us.
Hi, Randy
who used to
Samuels.
teach for us. Hi, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
No, I measure by using what I cut off.
Yeah.
So I just do the sort of the opposite way.
Sure. So Emily, you do this. So if I had this here, you would line this. That's a great tip. I don't know why I never thought of that in all of these years. You'd line it up right here.
Yep.
And you just use that to cut. You're a genius. That's even better.
I don't know. It seems to work good for me.
Yeah, that's a great tip. See, isn't this great when you bead with friends? You learn, learning. So I'm going to go ahead and follow my little pattern here. And you guys, the project map and everything will be up, so you'll be able to follow this as well by watching this video if you want to make this exact design. Or, you know what? Do your own thing. Grab these ingredients and, make your own patterns. It's cool. Whatever works. So I'll come in and I'll continue to string, and as I'm stringing this part, or as I was stringing this part, I was starting to think,
Sorry.
Kate? Oh, you okay? You okay there?
Yeah. Just
Do you need some of my coffee that's in my coffee cup? It's pretty cold.
Just allergies kicking in. Tickling.
No worries.
Tickle.
I started to think about where I was going to add chain. And I wanted the chain to be pretty drapey, but I didn't want it to be overly drapey. I wanted it to be, an accent, but I didn't want it to be, I'm sorry, I'm covering this. I didn't want it to, take away too much from the earring. So I grabbed the spool of this circle back chain, which is sitting right here. And I just had it near as I was lining things up. So you can see here, see how I've started to get all my little dangles right in a row. Okay, and I'll do this other side real quickly. Now with chain, a couple of things that you want to look out for, you guys, when you're working with chain. Most of the chain that we carry, and I think maybe all of the chain we carry, is the rings are soldered closed. So even if you're using a really fine gauge, the chain is going to hold up, okay? I use chain a lot in my designs, and think about it as kind of a, I don't know, it's a good accent, it's a good way to get metal into your design. It's also, you could do chain in that tassel. We've got some plans to do some cool chains, incorporating chains into our tassels later on this summer. But don't overlook the possibilities of using chain. And can you see, you guys, as I'm stringing these, I'm checking my design, checking what I'm putting on against the other side so everything is symmetrical. Putting these on just one bead at a time. I know it's a little like watching paint dry, but hang in there because we're almost ready to add that chain. Okay? And again, that little true two and my little dingly dangly guy. Okay, so now I got to this point and I thought, well, what do I want to say next? It's about time to add that chain, but I really had to think about how the chain was going to sit. Okay, so can you see right here there are little shadows, and I thought that the little shadows were perfect for the chain to sit in between. So I tried it out. So what did I do here? I've got that true two, so I need 3 more seed beads. right here on this side. 1, 2, and 3. I also like these 11/0 seed beads, you guys, because the hole is so big and it's easy to get that wire in there. So let's get this shadow on. And then what I did, I worked off my length of chain. Now we can put this in the episode notes, exactly how many this is. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 loops, okay? But what I did was, I just put it on my earring. And I pulled it across to the other side, and I saw how it looked. I think with chain, that's you kind of have to see it in action, because there's a lot of factors that come into play when you're using chain. How big is the link? How flexible is it? All of those things. So you kind of have to see it in action, I like to say, in order to make that decision. So I kind of held it up like this, and I thought, yeah, I like that space between the chain and the bottom. So I identified which length that was, and I strung it on. No big deal. NBD, right? And then I looked at it and I went, oh, that's a little too long. So I said, well, let me get 2 more. Maybe that's about right. And that's about right. And then I just came in and I clipped that link next to the link that's through the memory wire. And bam,
So
there
when
you've got
you're-
it.
Can I ask you, Kate,
Sure.
when you're doing this, would you cut your second piece now? Especially if you had chain that was hard to cut the links, would you?
You know, that's a really good question, Janice. And I actually thought about it when I was making these earrings. But I also thought, maybe I would change up this design. Because I really did design these on the fly. So I thought, well, I don't want to cut my second set of chain yet. Because what if I do want to change this up? So once I made, like if I were doing multiples of this pair and I knew this was exactly the right thing that I wanted to do, and you guys at home, if you're buying into this design, by all means, cut both sets of chain at the same time so you're ready to go. But if you're designing, maybe on your first one, you know, when I design in my studio, I keep a lot of little index cards, and I make my little design notes on them so I can refer back to them the next time I make this piece.
So you could, before you strung the chain on, if you didn't want to cut another piece, you could lay it out and you could make a mark on a piece of paper and say this is...
I could. This
especially
could
if
be
you
my
had-
length. Yeah.
Especially if you had chain that the links, you can't count them.
No, they're
It's
hard with so
yeah.
small. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Okay, just checking.
Just checking. So what I did for the sides, let me lay it down, Em, so you can see. I wanted to incorporate, I didn't want to forget about my little friends, the 4mm beads down here. So I thought I'd incorporate them on the sides. So I put one of those guys on each side, and I put one of these guys on here and here. And again, building from both sides. I'm going to go a little bit faster so that we're kind of picking up the pace here.
I like the way you've bookended the chain between two shadows. That a lot of us, when we're designing, we might put the shadow underneath, but not the shadow above it, and it just sets it off, and it says, you know, look at me. It just makes it really important. That little
extra kind of, and as you say, bookending. I like bookending.
Yeah.
And that sometimes is really my go-to for when I don't know what to do. I'll go, you know what, I'm going to just bookend this. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18,
See, you're
21.
counting
I am. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16,
I also
18,
like
21.
that little bookend look because it kind of hides the chain end and it sort of pops out unexpectedly. of the stringing material, it also might look a little skimpy. Where this kind of gives it a little bit more of a nice
A little bit of
transition.
weight. Yeah, it
little
makes it a
beefiness.
nice transition. And it kind of hides, it kind of makes that transition pretty clean. So you can see, here's my second one. And now I'll just, I intentionally, I just repeated that pattern. Also, you guys, when I don't know what to do, I intentionally repeat because sometimes that's the way to do it.
Well, isn't that what they do a lot in yarn patterns too? They'll give a couple of repeats of the same thing to kind of fill out the bare long
kind of
distance
the
part.
long distance. Yeah, put a couple of repeats in there. And then I'll put my final, you make sure. Now what I did, this is curious as I'm looking at my strands. And I remember thinking about this now that I'm looking at this. If we look at this, I'll lay this down so you can see this. As I was making this piece, I thought, well, maybe I'll bookend this again and make another set of these larger 4mm. But as the earring was starting to curve up towards the top, it was looking a little clunky. Okay? And I thought, well, I don't want to put those there. I want to use some 11/0. But my chain, if you'll look at this circle back, you guys, the circle back chain is just that. It's a nice circle. And I thought, well, it's going to keep jumping over these 11/0. So this is what I did. I came in. See that little link?
Your clever trick.
Hold on.
Let's get there. There we go.
Right. Oh, I know what you did.
And I just came in and I said, hey, chain, let's thin it out a little bit, buddy. Sorry, I have to put my plier here to just thin it, and then I'll move
You could also
it.
do this when it was on the earring, as long as you don't break the beads.
I
around it.
could. I was worried, though, that I'd be heavy-handed. But see how I just ovaled that chain out? And then I'll just oval this chain out. I do this, you guys, with chain all the time.
Very clever.
See, and it elongates it a little bit. Bam. Okay. Yes, I can see Gita hugging the chain. I did. I gave the chain a little hug. So then I just kept stringing. I was all, well, let's see what happens. They're only beads, right, Em?
Yep. What's the worst that could happen? You
What's
take
the
it
worst?
off?
Right. What's the worst you could happen? You just take it off and redo it, right?
It's my sister's take on a lot of things in life. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, right? You just kind of,
I mean, yeah.
you know,
You're out a little wire or a little chain.
yeah, that's all right. Whoops, you okay?
Yep. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, everybody.
It's all right. We had a
Technical-
camera down.
Camera
down.
technical, There we go.
There we go.
Back
We'll
on.
Get that in there. That's okay. It's the beauty of a live broadcast. But good recovery, Em. Good recovery on that camera. So now, after my two little, as Janice would call them, two little doohicksters, my two little beads, I'll string this on through the elongated oval.
You were very smart to leave yourself extra overlap on that memory
and wire, right? Yeah.
Because the memory wire can be a bit recalcitrant.
Yes, a bit like it wants to be pretty bouncy, right? So you can see there are my three little lines. Now I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to string it up. So it looks like I've got one 11/0 and this guy, my true two, but that's the wrong color. I'm matching it with my blue that I'm looking at, but that's not right. And then I just wanted to make it a little interesting, so I threw in a shadow. You could throw in one shadow, you could throw in two shadows. I'll put the other samples down while I'm stringing this so you guys can kind of see the variation on a theme that I did here. You can see this one. And then if you guys saw the Free Tip Friday that I did this past Friday, it was a little kind of precursor to this where I made some wire coils and use those. And you can find the Free Tip Friday, you guys, you can find them on our YouTube channel under the Free Tip Friday playlist. So 7.
I really like the ear wires you chose with these as well.
Yeah, you know, these niobium ear wires, I love them. I love that they're copper colored with the little copper ball. And niobium is an inert metal. So if you do have any metal allergies, what I have found, people can wear niobium with very, very little issue, because again, that niobium is an inert metal. 5, 6, 7, 8 on here, and then we'll do the other side. But you can see that little coil, I was really having fun with that little coil design. And it's a pretty fast and easy thing to do. We're going to be doing, you and I have some tricks up our sleeve for later this summer with more wire tricks that we're going to share for you guys. A lot of fun stuff. Some of them including some coiling and some creating some wire with chain. It's going to, or a chain with wire. It's going to be pretty fun. But I urge you.
Heart.
Yeah, do we like it?
Yes.
Are we good?
Many hearts.
Yay, I love it. Any other questions we've got so far, JP, that we need to answer?
Oh, they're just saying,
or am I doing
you're
okay?
Guru, and everyone wants to go to Bead Fest.
Well, hooray.
And,
I'm excited by that.
Great tips, and Gita's amazing, and with her linking, and
Oh, I love it.
kitties and puppies and mommies and grandmas.
I
and,
love it.
and
Well, we're
Tammy
on the
says it
whole
takes
stretch.
A village.
It does take
And
a
I
village,
think it's
Tammy.
Tammy's husband Art, who
Yeah.
said, "Don't use your husband's good wire cutters,
Uh-oh.
memory wire."
Uh-oh.
I think it was.
Is there a little family rift over the wire cutters?
Maybe, a little maybe.
Well, Art, next time you're in town or next time I see you, bring your wire cutters and I'll use my jewel tool to get that bump
Yes.
out of them, okay? I can...
So we can put a
Rehome.
link in the newsletter for Bead Fest.
Yeah, we sure will.
And
we'll
where
put
are
a
you
link to
going-
my classes.
Where are you going next week?
Oh my gosh, you guys, we need to bring this up. I'll talk about it while I'm finishing this stringing. As some of you may know, next week starts Bead and Button, the big Bead and Button show in Milwaukee. And I will be teaching there. I've got 2 great classes, and I'll link to those on the website. I'm going to be at the Meet the Teachers on Friday night. I'll also be in my classroom, and I'll be on the sales floor on Saturday. And that Saturday, I'll be coming at you live on Facebook Live. We're going to do a special Facebook Live from Bead and Button. I'll be on the show floor, kind of roaming around. So I'll post it on social media, and we'll get you some times so you guys can see when that's going to come. So next Wednesday on Facebook Live, Emily's going it solo. It's going to be really exciting, and we'll share the project she's doing with you a little bit later. But we have some great things. I'll be coming at you from Bead and Button, which is going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
The premiere, it's such a great show, and I'm really pleased to. This is my, I don't know how many years I've been teaching there, but a long darn
Yeah.
time, I'll tell
Yeah.
you. So I finished this up, and I want to show you guys here what this looks like so we can kind of take a look and see. I ended it by adding that little shadow at the end, and I'll show it to you here. It's a little funny with all of our tassels there, but can you see how the little shadows finish it up right there? So I'll show you. This is the hardest part of the whole earring, okay? I'll be honest. This part, if you can conquer putting this guy together, then you are going to be golden. So I'll show you what I do. I start, because we've got to make a loop in this memory wire, okay? And you know what I actually forgot, Janice?
What?
Could I get some tape?
You know, I asked about tape, and
And did I not answer?
no.
Did I just say, I don't know, Janice?
I always.
Oh, I've got it. Look at Cara on the
I always
ball.
bring tape, and
Thanks,
I said,
Cara.
"Do we need tape today?"
And no one listened
And
to
no
her.
one- Okay.
She was
I
right.
rest my case.
We always need
You
tape.
need Scotch tape wherever you go.
So I put a little flag of the cellophane tape on this side, okay? So nothing falls off. And I put it on there, you guys, like I mean it. So nothing's gonna fall off there. Okay, can you see that? Now, what I'm free to do is work on this side without all of my hard work falling off the other end, okay? So here's my round plier, and with my round nose, I'm just gonna come up and over. And you know what? Memory wire nowadays is a lot easier to turn than it was back in the day right? When the old memory wire was out, it was a little more difficult to make that loop. But you
to
can
be
see,
Armstrong.
yeah. But see how I'm looping and looping it over so things it just passes. Okay. Now, I'm gonna, whoops, oh, sorry you guys, you landed on the floor. You got it? Oh, that thing just here.
just popped right
Let's
out.
take a moment. I'm gonna put it back in the thing.
Oh, look.
What? Oh, that's why. Our little stand is kind of funny.
Okay.
Thanks, you
back
guys. We're
again.
back.
Sorry.
Sorry. Let's really get that sucker
slippage
in
of-
there. Let me make sure we're all set, because right at the moment.
It's
sorry.
So, every week
there we
there's
go.
Something so
Oh,
exciting.
see how it's
See,
sliding
no,
out?
see
I'm
that
gonna have
wants to
hold
slide.
it.
Okay, are you okay with that?
Yeah, now that I know
All right.
that's going to do it, I had no
All
idea
right.
that was creeping out on me there.
Right.
Creep.
That
Cheap.
cheap little stand. Who got that? Anyway, right, me. So, just to reiterate, before we had our technical difficulty, there's our little loop right there, and I've gone over the little loop so it's nice and closed. Okay? So I slide everything over, all of it over, just like that. So I'm nice and tight up against that loop. Now, right here, is that better?
Yeah, that just is a little bit of a
Yeah.
more consistent
No
background.
worries. Then I'm just going to come in, whoops, I'm not using that cutter. Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
Yikes. I'm using this cutter. And I'm going to cut away, that's a scant 1/4 inch maybe. And I clip that away. Now I've really got to hold on to things, you guys, because there's a small little piece of wire here. That's actually a little too long, I think. There we go. And I'm pushing the beads around because I want this to be tight right here, okay? So I really want to kind of have control over everything, what I've got here. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to make that loop up and over the top. Now, I was a little loose. Can you see that? No biggie. I'll come in. I'm going to turn this around, Em. I'm going to come in, and just where the loop is connecting, I'm going to clip part of the loop away and continue closing that loop.
Work out a little bit more from you, away from you.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Better? Okay. And again, I want to make that overlap. Can we see what we've got here? The two loops, and I'll turn it even on this side. You
Beautiful.
can see that overlap there and there. Okay? So we're on the home stretch, you guys. What I'm going to do here is I need to bring these two things together. So I bring my two loops together, and what I'm going to do is I've got your friend and mine jump ring. I think I used the 5mm. I'm not sure. It's on the materials list. I should have checked beforehand, but I didn't. But I'm sure that someone out there will check. But I tested the different sizes, and I thought that this was a nice size. Okay, so now
the 5mm,
the 5mm,
18 gauge.
18 gauge. So see, I open that guy up, and I just use it. Can you see it okay, Em? I just use it. I want these one over the other. To close it, I'll close it up and then I'll turn it so you can see it, okay?
Could you have just used the loop of the ear wire?
Well, it's a good question. I could have, but what I wanted to do, and I'll show you what I did with the design. And then when I came in and I gave this earring a little bit of a squeeze to elongate it just a little bit and take a little bit of the bounce out of it. Okay. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to add some chain. Let me show you the back here. So I added, you can see it on the back. There's that jump ring I added. Then I added another jump ring and then the ear wire, because that middle jump ring, or that jump ring that I just put on, I attached a little jump ring with chain tassel in there. Okay, now this could be anything. This could be another tiny tassel that you make, or it could be like, I don't know, a wire wrap, bunch of beads, or it could be anything there. It doesn't really matter. Could be a briolette, but I needed, Janice, a little more elbow room there. So I would just come in and I'll get my...
Well, you still had more of a story to tell. You
I wasn't done talking.
You were layering more. Yeah.
Where's my... Right, my table started as clean, and now I can't find my ear wire, my gold ear wire. I know it's here somewhere.
Here.
There it is, right underneath. And you can also tell, you guys, that I'm mixing my metals. If any time was the right time to mix your metals, it's this earring project, because the kind of free spirit feeling of this earring is perfect for the mixed metals. So see that there? So now I'm ready. See how it's added? Now I'm ready to come in. There we go. To come in and add a little chain tassel. Now all I did was by the time I had finished designing this first earring, I had a bunch of random little bits of chain. So that's what I used. But I'm going to show you, this is an old Janice trick that I learned from her.
Chain cutting trick?
Yeah. I learned this at your knee back in the day at our brick and mortar store. See how I have that head pin there? And I've slid my chain on. And I'm just going to guess I have probably 2, 4, 6, maybe I have 8 pieces of chain, and maybe they're all slightly different. So I'll count 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe I'll cut number 9 right there. And I'll just cut it. Now I'll slide my chain back, and visually I can cut it. And I'll go, okay, maybe I had 2 this length, and maybe I have 2 that are a little longer. You know, whatever works for you. But this makes it really fast and easy for me to measure my chain. Then all I do, kids, is I come in with that jump ring, open that bad boy up. Let's see if I can do it. If I can slide it from the head pin right onto my jump ring. Get my earring. Put it on that loop. Am I in frame, Em? Can you see me okay? Trying not to move around too much for you guys. Make sure that that jump ring, you guys, is opened enough so you can get it on there. That's all right. Open that sucker up. There we go. Noticed how I'm using my chain nose and my bent chain nose for this. See that bent chain nose? How that little finger, it's like a little finger, just closes everything up just perfectly. It reaches right in there. Now you can see I'll lay this down. I've got my little chain tassel, and I can just add my little dangles or not, whatever I wanted to do. Let me put this one next to it so you guys can see it. Okay. I love those 2 colorways. And this would make a terrific pendant. It's kind of big for an earring, but I'm okay with that. You could also, though, you guys, make it in the smaller one if you want it to be smaller. And you can see on the variation, now that you've seen this go together, can you see kind of the variation on this theme, how it's working? I used the ring memory wire, you guys, exactly the same way. I cut a length of the ring memory wire so it overlapped. So about the same ratio. I just came in, I don't know, so it's like a coil and a half, right? And that's what I used for that. Okay, but I just did, whoops, I just did one single little dangle. I used my tassel here, and then I used the 4 millimeters to hold that tassel in place, and then just strung up the sides just like so. So whatever works for you, you know, make your own tune, dance to your own tune on it. Okay. Oh, thanks, Janice. Okay. So what do you think? What do you think about this one, JP?
I love it.
It's not too bad.
I love that, one part of the story, I love that you went symmetrical, and then when you did the dangles from the top, they were asymmetrical. You could have gone long in the middle.
I could have, yeah.
2 on either side.
Exactly.
It just created more texture, more interest. You might have done it without even thinking about it, but it's something that is an option. You could go long in the middle, 2 shorter on the outside, but you just made it kind of itself a tassel.
Right, its own little thing. And I also toyed with the idea. I wasn't sure if it was gilding the lily or not, but on the center one, you could create more little dangles.
That's right where I went.
Yeah, did you?
Yep.
Yeah. And I
Yep.
thought about that too. I mean, this really is just a blank slate for you guys to kind of create with and see what works.
Can you also show the other one you made?
Yeah, sure. Let's show that one more
And
time.
that was done where, did you wrap wire around the memory
I did.
line?
So
Someone was asking
what I
about
did,
that.
and it's on Free Tip Friday, you guys, but essentially what I did was I took a piece. Is the wire box here? We have a few minutes, so I can share that with you.
Yeah.
I'll show you real quick here. I used, make a little space here. I don't know if you can see over here okay, Em, if I
Yep.
work right here.
Perfect.
I used a piece of 18 gauge. This is 18 gauge aluminum wire, but any of the gauges will work. And I straightened it out nicely. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you there.
right.
I straightened it out there with my wire, my nylon job plier, and I just cut a little length, and that's my mandrel. Okay. Then I just grabbed my wire, my 24 gauge, which is sitting right in front of me. And I don't know, I could use it off the spool, but I'll cut some just so it's easier for me to maneuver. And this is, maybe I'm cutting, I don't know, 10 inches, 12 inches, something like that. Okay. So I'm going to cut that off. Now, here's my 18 gauge, here's my 24 gauge. However, you could use a thinner gauge, you could use 26, that would work as well. Okay. And I'll just come in and I'll start wrapping. See how my 18 gauge wire and my 24 gauge wire are at right angles to each other? That's what I'm trying to say. So I'll stop here and then I can go to the other side and start wrapping. If I have space, I can push that space together with my bent chain nose. If things are starting to get a little unruly or my fingers aren't gripping as tightly as I want them to, I could always grip it in my nylon jaw plier. I don't want to do this too tightly, you guys, because, oops, come on, I'm the boss of you, there you go. Because this is going to need to slide off eventually, okay? So we'll just wrap this until I'm done. And I think on this one, for this length, I think that was about 2 inches of wrapping. This length was about 1 inch. So I'll measure it and I'll cut it, and I'll cut it off here with my wire cutters, my Zerons. And I'll just, not too tight, we don't want this knot to come off, but I just dip that little end right around, okay? Then I'll slide, this is the moment of truth, I'll hold on to the wire and slide that puppy off. Bam. And then, Janice, I just string that like it's a bead.
Yeah, and you could actually make, using the ring memory wire, you could make rings that have this
This covering.
foiling. It'd
Yeah.
be really adorable.
It would be
with
really
little
nice.
beads on it.
Mm-hmm.
Very cute.
Yeah. Super easy. Okay. So, do we have any other questions, you guys? How are we doing? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty stoked about this earring.
I think everyone's happy with it.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Looks like Eli's on the line.
oh,
is
and
Eli?
Eli's there. Yeah.
Oh,
Hi, Eli. So, Janice, you want to come on around and sign off with me, and we'll finish our business? Here, Emma, I'll hold
Absolutely, and
this.
I can
I'll hold
say
on to
hi to
this.
that.
I've got it. Sorry, you guys.
Say hi to the little monkey.
I'll put this on the.
Okay.
Everyone's saying a lot of hearts to you.
Oh,
I'm going to
I
take
know.
this
Isn't
out of
that
here.
Sweet.
It's fine.
But I'm not going away. I'm just moving.
Just
I'm
moving, not far.
I'm not going away though.
Yeah. So, Mary, I just want to answer your question real quick. This coil is on the ring memory wire, but I'm using it as an earring. But I could, just use this traditionally like a, just for a ring memory wire. If I could put some little dangles on there and obviously not put it in an ear wire there. Okay. So I'm going to give you one final close-up of all of these, and then we'll hand everything back to Miss Emily Miller. There we go. We'll have a little tour of what we did. Oh, don't worry, Susan. Janice isn't going anywhere. She's just, no, we're going to have a lot of great stuff. You're going to have a broadcast. You're going to be on here and moderating, and you'll be coming back. And she says you're so inspiring, and it's really
thank
true.
You,
You
And
inspire all of us every day.
I'd love to retire, but no, not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
I've been told I have 7 years of work in front of me. Oh, I want to
So,
get this one right.
get that there.
We'll figure
Yeah.
this one out for episode
There we go.
notes.
It looks real nice, if I do say so
Well,
myself.
What a great job you
Yeah,
did.
it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, great. So I'm going to hand this back to you,
Beautiful.
Em, and we'll do some closing business here.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you
put this
can have
earring on
your-
for scale too.
You can have your Gita cake, your
Yes, my
Gita Danish.
my Danish is over there waiting. So you can see, I'm going to put this one on, this size, for scale. It's a giant earring, but I
But
love it.
Look, you can wear those.
I
You-
love
you-
what I call a statement earring.
Yeah, and
a
we're
say
going to
something
have
earring.
pictures of everything in episode notes.
And here's the smaller one here.
And I hope everyone's reading them, because if you're not, would you let me know and I won't bother?
Stop. No, I am sure. You can see, and this one would really also make a great. It's
It
a
would.
great pendant scale.
It would.
As well.
It's fabulous. Yeah.
So, super fun. So we've got a couple of.
First, can I say hi to Eli?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Hi,
have some
monkey.
coffee.
Gopka says hi. I'll see you in 4 bedtimes. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 3 bedtimes. 3 bedtimes. I'll be there.
That's awesome.
Keita says we are reading every single one of them in capitals
Yes.
and love the notes.
Oh,
So you guys,
thank you.
we have what I think is going to be a great. We've got a great giveaway.
Yeah.
It's going to be a slammer. So first, before we give you, we've got a great discount code for you today in honor of Gita's birthday. But we also have, I'll let you hold on to that, Janice. That's our giveaway today. And we thought it would be fun to give a little, when you go to a birthday party, right, you get a little goodie bag. So we put a goodie bag together today that starts with all the letters of Gita's name. So there are 4 things in here. We know you have 2 T's, but I'll show you. No, there's 5. But Turquoise Tough takes care of the T's.
Yes.
So I'm going to show you what we've got. Shall we open the goodie bag, Em, and see what we've got? So we have, Jen wrote my little,
A G.
a G. So see, we've got it here. So a G for giant sunflower button.
Yeah.
We've got, we love this color. It's so fresh for summer. A tube of the Ivory Ceylon. We've got a spool of Turquoise Tough.
2 T's.
2 T's in size 5. And we call these our empathy heart beads. And your hearts may differ. We've got 3 different colors, so we'll see what our color story is going to be. But that's our little Gita giveaway goodie
Yes,
bag. So
yes.
it spells out Gita. And if you guys, so you guys know about the giveaways. The giveaways are good for 1 hour after our broadcast finishes.
Yep.
So today is Wednesday, May 31st. And we're going to sign off here in a moment, and we'll go to 1 o'clock Pacific time. If you add in the little box when you place your order, Happy Birthday Gita, we will add your little party goodie bag into your order. Now, you know how they say on those infomercials, but that's not all, you guys. It's kind of crazy.
Okay, so,
But we thought, Janice,
okay.
it's
yeah,
Gita's,
it is.
it's her birthday,
It
and her
is.
birthday falls on the 31st. So, if you're watching this a little later, this discount goes until midnight tonight, you guys. If you add Gita 31,
Oh my goodness, yes.
we're going to give you 31% off.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yes. Hi, Gita.
It's
Happy
all
birthday.
happy birthday to you guys.
Yeah. So it's all
This
day till
discount,
midnight.
all day till midnight, and this, you guys, this
Gita
discount-
says, "Oh my God."
No, this discount isn't going to come
Yeah,
around again.
no.
Well, maybe ever if I'm not in too much
Or
trouble.
next year, Gita's
Yeah.
birthday again.
Right. But just put Gita 31 in your coupon code, and we'll have 31%
Right.
off store wide, which is kind of crazy since we had an amazing
Right.
Memorial
Right.
Day sale. But we
Right.
thought, what the
Right.
heck? It's Gita's birthday. Why not?
Right, right.
So, our goodie bag, good until 1 o'clock. Pacific
Lots of
time.
love, lots of
And
love.
it's 31% until end of day today at midnight.
Right.
Gita's a little overwhelmed. She says, "Thank you very much."
Well, we really appreciate you guys. We
Yeah.
really, really do. And it's super fun to just be able to do this kind of crazy stuff like this.
So, there's a quick little story.
Okay.
There's a book that I read, and I recommend it to everyone out there. It's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I know that's a long title. It's by Stephen Covey.
Yeah, Stephen Covey.
But he talks about the emotional bank account. And he talks about how you have to put deposits in, and that somehow, like if you see friends from college or high school, how you can just pick up where you left off.
Right.
And you get along so well. Well, I feel like we're all putting deposits in each other's emotional bank accounts. Us to you, you to us, and that when we do meet, whether it's at Bead Fest or Bead and Button, or we
Just simply here
or a-
on Facebook Live.
or we're hearing about someone's helping taking a package to Europe when they fly over. Or what, it's just we're building deposits in our emotional bank accounts, and it's all about the love. It
Yeah.
really is,
It really
and
is.
that's why it's working. It's
Yeah.
because it's authentic. You're
I
real
love it.
out there. We feel it. We feel it down to our toes. That's why we come to work every day. It just is. It's like
It's fun.
yeah.
We love it.
So
So we really appreciate you guys
so
being
from
here.
us, and also with Emily, and happy birthday, Ivan over there.
Yeah, who's packing your orders as we speak, listening to a podcast, I think.
And happy birthday, Gita.
Yeah. And for
everyone
next
of your
week.
kitties and puppies
Yeah.
and parrots.
Your menagerie, I love it.
And, yes.
So next week, you guys, Emily's going to be here on Facebook Live on Wednesday to teach you. I have these samples. Look what I've got,
And
JP.
you're wearing one.
And I'm wearing one. I've been wearing one all show. Emily's going to show us this amazing beaded berry.
Yes.
Let me move
Yes.
this over. I don't need to tap you there, but we've got this guy, and I'll take this one off. So Emily, this is a seed bead project, right?
Oh, yeah. I love seed beads.
Yeah.
And you used 8s
And
and
11s.
11s. So
Mhm. Pretty
Yeah.
modest supplies list,
Yeah.
but very effective and lots of variations that you can do.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to. I probably will watch you.
Are
in
you
the
gonna watch
airport.
me?
Yeah.
well, I'm going to watch you
Yeah.
from Virginia.
Right, you'll
Yeah.
be
And
I'll
moderating.
be
you'll
moderating,
there.
yeah.
You'll be there, and
Yep.
Gracie will be back, and so it's going to be a really fun one. And then I'll let you guys know where I am, what the story is for that Saturday at Bead and Button. And
Where
then
is Bead and Button?
it's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee.
Yeah. it's
Anyone
gonna be
out
really
there in
fun.
Milwaukee?
Yeah, come on by. I'll be there.
I bet you wouldn't mind having a glass of wine with someone
No,
who lives
I
in
wouldn't.
Milwaukee.
No, it'll be good times.
Yeah.
So let me know.
Yeah.
And you guys, we've got on Free Tip Friday this week. Join me on Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. where I'll be doing something amazing. I'm not sure what quite yet, but
I
we'll-
might be here Friday morning, and I'll
Okay.
help. I'll
Okay.
help film
Help
you.
film you.
Yeah.
Great.
And
Okay.
then I have to pack.
then
finish packing.
then you've got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. It'll be okay. All right, you guys. Well, happy birthday once again,
Yeah.
Gita. Have
Happy
a
birthday.
great week, you guys, and we'll see you soon. All right.
Yeah, very soon.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Bye bye.